It's the Pit Parade, the picture story of the Pittsburgh scene from the KDK TV archives. Flood. It was one word, but it was all Pittsburghers needed to hear this week in 1959. One look at the Allegheny River was all you needed to confirm what the headlines were screaming. This week in 1959, Pittsburgh suffered what some were predicting would be the worst flood since the big one in 1936. The river, so calm and placid in the summer, had turned angry this winter. Heavy rain and snow had swollen them to a dangerous level. Barges and tugboats were swept up in the current. The 62nd Street Bridge at Sharpsburg was closed to traffic. Barges had slammed into the piers and weakened the spans. The Mon Wharf was flooded and cars were swept away in the raging storm. But we were lucky this time. There was no loss of life, just damage to property and a guessing game for motorists. The floodwaters eventually receded, but the nasty weather did not. Pittsburghers were buffeted by strong winds. Those who could stayed inside until the storm blew over. Those who did got a treat on the television. Pittsburgh's Variety Club was staging its annual Variety Club show to help underprivileged children. The symbol of the 1959 show was this little girl named Eleanor Variety One, who charmed everyone present, including Dad. She was the living reminder of the baby left in the lobby of the old Sheridan Square Theater on Christmas Eve in 1928. That baby had a note pinned to her dress asking for the show business crowd to take care of her. They did, and started a tradition that spanned 3 decades of Pittsburgh history. This Variety Club brought Dick Powell, a top television producer, and his wife, June Allison, back to town. And another television and radio star was in town this week. Do you recognize David Brinkley? The veteran newsman was here as a guest of the Pittsburgh Board of Realtors, and the Toastmaster was the man we knew as Uncle Ed, Ed Chauncey. Pittsburghers were getting a leg up on the arts this week. The Pittsburgh Ballet was still a dream, but this week in 1959, dancer Alpha Liepa was holding auditions for a full-fledged company. Plenty of hopeful Pittsburgh dancers were applying under Mr. Liepa's watchful eye. Competitors were judged for their work at the bar and on point. The competitors were clawing for prizes at this contest in Wilkinsburg. It was one of the country's largest cat shows, staged by the Allegheny Valley Cat Club. There were no alley cats. Some were as rare as white elephants, including this sourpuss of a Burmese, various varieties of Siamese, and this tailless Manx. This feline was as fussy as a kid in a barber's chair when it came to getting his hair brushed. The Pit Parade was getting a little catty this week of January 22nd, 1959. Saying cheerio on video, this is Patti Burns for the Pit Parade.